Let's look at the last example from 6.7. A ladder is leaning against a building so that the distance from the ground to the top of the ladder is 4 feet less than the length of the ladder. Find the length of the ladder if the distance from the bottom of the ladder to the building is 12 feet. So if we look at this, they're telling us that we need to find the length of the ladder. So I drew my picture with this building standing straight up and down, and the ladder being that diagonal piece. So that's why I labeled it X. And they tell us that the distance from the ground to the top of the ladder is 4 feet less, so subtraction, then tells us to turn the order around. The length of the ladder was our X. That's where this X minus 4 comes from. Then they told us that the distance from the bottom of the ladder to the building is 12 feet. If you notice, the ladder and the side of the building make a right triangle. When we have a right triangle, we can use our Pythagorean theorem, which tells us that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Sides A and B are the legs of the triangle that make that 90-degree angle. Side C is the hypotenuse, that diagonal, in this case, the ladder. So when I set up my equation, I have 12 squared plus x minus 4 squared equals x squared. So I need to simplify down and actually do that squaring. The x squared just gives me 144. When I'm dealing with my x minus 4 squared right here, I need to think back to what we learned about last unit, where that x minus 4 all squared is really telling us to do x minus 4 times x minus 4. When we FOIL it out, we get that x squared minus 8x plus 16. That's where this purple piece comes from here. Then I need to try to get my x squareds on the same side. When I move this x squared on the right-hand side of the equation by subtracting it, my x squareds on both sides totally cancel out. So I'm just left with 144 minus 8x plus 16 equals 0. Well, this is just a linear equation, so I used my skills from Unit 1 to solve it. I combine my like terms, so 144 and my 16, to get 160 minus 8x equals 0. Then I know I want my x's on one side of the equation and my numbers on the other side, so I add 8x to both sides to get 160 equals 8x. Then I divide both sides by 8 to get x by itself to find that x equals 20 feet. So in the context of the problem, they were telling me to find the length of the ladder. The length of this ladder is 20 feet.